What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we have a how-to video on 2K Clear. So I do get a lot of questions on clear coat on my channel, on my Instagram page, and on my Facebook page, saying, McDylan, how do you use clear coat? What kind of clear coat do you use, and how do you also clear coat over decals? Because there's a few people out there are kind of struggling how to clear coat over decals. So we're going to try to cover this in this video. So go ahead, grab a cold beverage, because this could be a decent long video, but I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. So here in front of you guys, I got a couple of examples of some models. The wagon here is an example of the decals, because I do have a carbon fiber decal on hood and the roof. The Foos wagon or Foos truck here has darker color, and you can kind of see the shine off it a little bit better. You can't really see it shine off the white because it's white. But yes, there's a couple examples here on how to clear coat. Now, okay, so let's go ahead and go through by step to step. Clear coat. What kind of clear coat should I use? What kind of clear coat will work? And all that good stuff. So, if you want to, you can go ahead and go with the model company clear coats. If you use splash paints, gravity colors, zero paints, scale finishes, all those companies for model car paint, they do make 2K clears. You can go ahead and get the zero paints diamond 2K clear, get the splash paints 2K clear, the gravity colors 2K clear, and I'm pretty sure the scale finishes makes it 2K clear. Their 2K clears are wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you notice, they come in a little package, and the bottles are only so big, and you only get so little, and you only paint so many models, and they do get pretty pricey. But if you want to go the extra milestone, you can go ahead and go with an actual Automotive 2K clear. You do get a bigger bottle, bigger can I should say, and you can paint a load more models with this type of gallon here, or ounce I should say. So alright, so yes, you can use actually Automotive clear. You can use the model company paint clear, it will work. But okay, so let's go ahead and jump straight into Automotive clear. What kind of Automotive clear will work? Every single Automotive clear will work out there, because Automotive clear has to work on plastic as well, because cars these days have plastic bumpers, so they kind of do have to work on plastic. So any kind of clear coat out there will work on plastic models, because models are plastic, what we are doing, or metal, or whatever. Clear coat will stick to anything as long as it's, it's on paint. So what kind of clear coat out there? What kind of companies are good? Well, what I have here is Restoration Shop. I prefer this company because I really like their company, and I'm really familiar with their products. They're kind of high end, but then again, kind of not. They're kind of mid-range. It's this, the 2K clear, this and the hardener alone is $45. You can go with much more expensive. It's up to you. I would not really recommend going cheap, because sometimes cheap clear coat does not work, and sometimes it doesn't do its job, and you can mess up the paint job. So clear coat, if it's over 25 to 30, at least about $30, and that's a decent clear coat. If it's below that, then I probably wouldn't recommend it, because it could be trash, and it might not do its job unless you want to chance it. So any kind of Automotive clear will work. I got Restoration Shop here, Finish One, Napa. I'll put a whole bunch of screenshots on your screen right now. There's a bunch of companies out there, so, and they all should work. So the size, what size should you get? Get a quart. Do not get a gallon, because a gallon, well, to be honest, we're all probably dead by the time you use that, if you're just using it on scale models. So do not get a gallon. And another thing is, if you get the gallon, pretty darn good chance the hardener will harden up and it will go bad, and then you're just gonna waste $100 worth of clear right there. So that's one thing you do not want to use or waste. So only get a quart. A quart, something like this. This one only cost me $45. Free shipping on Amazon. I did see it on Amazon, but I get this at my local automotive shop here in town. So they have Restoration Shop. That's why I have a company here. Have their primer, reducer, and clear coat. But I'm pretty sure you can find this on Amazon. I'll put a link. Everything in this video I'm mentioning, I will provide a link down in the video description box below so you can find it easy. So yeah, I prefer a restoration shop because, well, I have it here in town, but all that good stuff, only get a quart, don't get a gallon. Okay, that's one thing. Like I said, any company will work. Finish One, Napa, anything, all kinds of clear coat will work. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip to how to mix the clear coats. Okay, so if you're using the splash paints or zero paints and stuff, there's has a 2K clear. It's in a box or it's in a package. So you get the clear, you get the hardener, and the thinner. The thinner is basically reducer. So originally it's 4 hardener, 4-part hardener, or excuse me, 4-part clear, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer. So, and that is, if you're using Automotive clear, that is the same exact way, because on this can right here it says 4-part clear, 1 part hardener. So, but the reason why it doesn't come with a reducer, it just comes with the clear and hardener for the Automotive, is because you're using Automotive because you're using a huge air gun on cars, and the bigger air gun, it can take a little bit more thicker paint. So in this case, we're using an airbrush, and the airbrush is, you know, it needs to be a little bit thinner. So you have to buy the reducer separately. The reducer is super cheap. I get at my local Automotive shop. I have that. I can get that for $20, not even. So yeah, get reducer. You can use vacuum thinner, but I don't really prefer it because vacuum thinner, it does evaporate a lot faster. But it does work, but I don't really prefer using vacuum thinner because, like I said, it does evaporate faster, and it probably won't get as a good result as reducer. So get your clear coat and then buy a reducer because you're going to need it thin, because airbrush cannot take the clear coat and hardener alone, because it is, clear coat itself is thick. It's super thick stuff. Alright, so now you know all you need, clear coat and reducer. So what supplies do you need? Okay, so first thing is, you're going to need a mask. You need a mask that has a filter. I prefer the 3M one. Any mask will work. The 3M one is what I have, and it's not the best mask, but it does get the job done. It does keep the chemicals out of your, you know, lungs and stuff. And so do not use a mask like, you know, you're during quarantine. You do not want to use that kind of mask, because that will not work, because the chemicals that is in clear coat is very, very high toxic, and it will do some damage to you. So please do not wear a mask when you wear to a store. You need to wear an actual 3M filtered mask. Any kind of mask. I prefer 3M because, well, 3M is a very good company and I prefer them. Okay, so next thing you're going to need is pipettes or eyedroppers. This one has a little thing on there that says 1 milliliter. Okay, so I prefer to get these. I'll provide the link down to these in the video box below. You can get a 200 pack. I get a 200 pack for I think $7. So the reason why you need these, and it has a measurement on it, because you need to measure out the clear coats 4 to 1 to 1. So right here, 1 milliliter. So you for the clear coat, you do this 4 times. You fill up to here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you get another one for the hardener 1 time, and then you get another one for the reducer 1 time, and you mix it all together. So pipettes or eyedroppers, whatever you want to call them, you need those to measure out the clear coat you have. Okay, so how to mix your clear coat, what to mix your clear coat in? Well, there's a couple options from here. You can use like a little cup like this. That will work just fine. Plastic or paper, it will work just fine. Or if you have a good airbrush that has a pretty decent size cup, like mine for instance, it has a pretty decent size. So I can put 4 parts of clear and 1 part of hardener and 1 part of reducer in here, it will fit perfect. Okay, so and you go ahead and mix it right up in here, no problem. If you have an airbrush that has a smaller cup, then go ahead and get a little cup like this, and then you can mix it right in here, not a big deal. So that's how you mix it clear. Make sure you mix it pretty darn good. I always take the eyedropper and just suck it up, dump it, suck it up on bottom, dump it on top. You know, just keep doing that a couple times for a good 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure it's really mixed up. Alright. Another thing is, you need a very well ventilated area. Do not, I'm telling you right now, do not spray clear coat 2K clear in your house. If you have a paint booth in your house, that's wonderful, but do not spray 2K clear in your house, because this stuff, like I mentioned, is very high toxic and it has a nasty smell to it. And you're saying, if you like say like, oh man, my airbrush is, my paint booth is very high, you know, very powerful, you can bring that outside, no problem. Do not do that. I'm telling you, you really need to do this out in the garage or outside in general, because clear coat 2K clear is very high toxic. It will stink up your room, and you do not want that. So do it in your garage or out, like actually outside, because this stuff you don't want to spray inside, like I said, because it will stink up your house, and that's the last thing you want. And you don't want your family breathing all this type of chemical stuff, because clear coat is one of the strongest paints out there. It has the most chemical, you know, stuff in it that you do not want to breathe. Okay, so outside or in your garage with your garage door open. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. Paint booth, you can have a paint booth outside or in your garage. If you're in your garage, get a paint booth, and then just kind of just try to get the chemicals out of your garage. Make sure your garage doors are open so your garage is gonna ventilate it. But that is pretty much about it. Let me look at my phone here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, yeah, another thing is, you need gloves. Gloves. You need gloves, because clear coat, it will ruin your skin, and you don't want to really get that in your skin anyway, because it's very sticky. Okay, so yeah, try avoid getting clear coat on your skin. Just get, you know, latex gloves, you know, rubber gloves. They're super cheap. They're kind of hard to find now because of COVID-19, but you can find them at your store, hopefully. I get mine at Harbor Freight. I get like a 300 pack for like $25. So yeah, just get rubber gloves, because you don't want clear coat getting on your skin, because you want to protect your skin, and you kind of want to keep that stuff off your hands, because it's very sticky. Okay, alright, so that's pretty much all you need to know about clear coat. Like I said, any kind of automotive clear will work. It has to work, because like I mentioned, cars these days have plastic bumpers, and model cars are plastic, so it will work. Okay, so clear time. How long should you wait until you even touch the body of 2K clear? 24 hours, okay? If not, 3 days, okay? So if you clear the body, do not touch it, do not look at it, put it in your closet, put it somewhere where it's going to dry peaceful and dust free. Keep it dust free, because if a speck of dust gets on it when it's still wet, then you have to do some wet sanding, and that's the last thing you're going to need. So if you have a perfect finish on your body, you don't need to do any wet sanding, you have no orange peel, put it anywhere. Put it in your closet. I have a mounting closet where I keep my kits. Put it in like a tub, like a plastic tub. Put it under there. I know some people do that. Make sure it is dust free where you are letting it dry, because like I said, you do not want dust or nothing getting on the clear coat, because this stuff does take some time to dry, and it's gonna take time to dry. So 24 hours, it says on my can, it says you are ready to touch it. But I would wait, if you're gonna wet sand it, wait at least to 3 days, because clear coat, it has to dry, it has to harden. In 24 hours, it's pretty well dry. you can handle it, you can touch it, you can do whatever you need to do to it. But if you want to do some, major stuff, wait, at least 3 days. Now, for example, I'm going to point out the car. I'll be showing you guys on footage here soon. So, alright, so if you are clear coating the body, if you're using really old paint or something, and we got the Chevelle here, for example, we got the clear coat on here. So, if you have old paint that has quite a bit of orange peel in it and you don't want to wet sand it because you're afraid to go through the paint, you can clear the body. Clear it over. Do 2 light coats, at least one to at least 2 coats of clear. Very light, okay? You're not going for a full coverage. You can clear the body, and this goes for decals. Okay, let's get into decals also. So, for example, if you want to do a big decal, this is what I do. So we're jumping straight into decals. So if you want to use a pretty decent sized decal, let's say it's going to cover this whole panel, or you got a line or something, you can clear the body before you put on decals. Okay, you can clear it. You can put the decals on before you clear it. That is a huge must. You can do that before you clear it if it's a decal, it's not big. But if a decal is a pretty decent size, you can clear the body because clear coat is super smooth. You're gonna have no issues putting a big decent size clear or decal on it because it's very smooth. The Marcosol, put this on here, is gonna really help the decal. So like I said, if it's a very long decal that goes to one side to the other side of the car, or like a sponsor or whatever, clear coat, if you put at least 1 to 2 coats of clear, it will help that decal, straighten it out where you need to move it, and then you can clear on top of the decal on top of the clear coat. Now, like I mentioned, if you're using old paint, like this was old paint, this was old splash paints I used, and it was pretty thick. I had to thin the color down, and it had quite a bit of orange peel in the bottle or on the body. So I went ahead and cleared the body 2 coats, and I'm not sure you can see, but there's quite a bit of orange peel, and there's some pivots in the clear paint also. That's not the clear coat, that's the actual paint. So what I'm going to do is wet sand that. So if you're going to clear on top of a clear, don't wait 24 hours. You don't want the clear coat to fully dry and harden when you're going to put on a coat of clear, because always you're going to have to start over. Basically, like you have to sand down the clear coat, and then you don't want to do that. So at this point, in less than 24 hours or less than 12 hours I should say, you are good to go. So like I mentioned, if you're going to put a decal on, like I'm going to do on the Chevelle, you can put a decal on when the clear coat is still tacky. It's touch dry, like mine's touch dry, but it's obviously not dry enough. So because I cleared this around 6 o'clock my time, and it's midnight, so 6 to 7 hours is touch dry. The clear coat is really touch dry. You can do your decal work or whatever, but then if you're going to clear it again, make sure you clear under the 12-hour mark. Make sure the clear coat is still pretty, not hardened, because you don't want that. You don't want the clear coat to be hardened. At least make sure you're clear under 24-hour mark. Always, you're going to have to wet sand it, or not wet sand it, actual sand it down, and that's the last thing you want. So, but in this video, at the end of this video, I am going to put a decal on the back of this car, and then I'm going to be showing you how to clear coat over decals. So stay tuned, you'll know how to do that. But yes, if you want to do clear coat, 1 coat of clear, 1 or 2 coats of clear, you can absolutely do that. Let it sit probably overnight, less than 24 hours, and then you can clear it again, do your full coverage, and then let it sit for at least 2 to 3 days. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to my paint booth, and then I'm going to show you how to clear over decals. Alright, so here we are in the paint booth. So the very first thing you want to do is hook up your airbrush, get it all ready and stuff. And the very first thing you want to do before you can start doing the clear coat is get the dust off. Blow the whole body down with the air through the airbrush. Get like a really thick paintbrush, you know, getting excess dust off the body, because you don't want any dust getting on the body. So alright, so let's go ahead and skip to the decal. So get your paint mixed up to the coordinated package, whatever kind of career you're using, and then as you see what I'm doing here is just go through the decal very carefully. See, I'm just spraying the decal, nothing else. The whole body can wait until later. Just spray the decal or decals, or how many you have in the body, and then once you get the decals mist, you only have to do one coat. And once you get the decals mist in their clear coat, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then you can go ahead and clear the whole body. And then you can go nuts with the clear coat. You can go as thick as you want, because this coat I'm putting on right now is a protection for decals, because decals don't like clear coat. If you put on this little protection of clear, like I'm doing it here, it will protect them, and then you can go as heavy as you want on the clear coat on the body. So I'm going to have you watch the rest of this video, and then we'll come back to my desk.
Alright, so that's pretty much about all you need to know about clear. Like I said, it's kind of simple, but then it kind of not, because you need it so much for clear coat, because clear coat is very high toxic, and then, you know, it's one of the most important parts about a model, because you want it to look perfect. But there you go guys. That's how I do my clear. That's how I clear over my decals. As you can see, it looks wonderful. This is 3 coats of clear. Like I said, if you're going to clear the body before you put decals on, very do so. Or you want to do a coat of clear, then do another coat of clear later on, very do so. Make sure you're clearing it under the 12-hour mark, because that means that the clear is still not 100% dry and hardened. To know it's not hardened is if you push your fingernail in it, it's going to leave a dent in the clear coat. That tells you it's not dry. So that's the way you figure out. Make sure if you're gonna push a nail into it, do not do it anywhere public. If there's like a part inside the body, like in here, you have a clear coat on, then do it inside the body where it's not gonna be seen. But yes, so that's pretty much how you know it's not dry. You know, make sure if you're done with clear coating, you know, let it dry for, you know, until it needs to dry. Let it dry for at least 1 to 3 days. I let mine dry for 3 days just to be 100% sure, and then I'll do whatever I need to do to it. It's fully hardened. You can push your nail into it. It will not leave a dent or a little pivot of your nail in the clear coat, because it is fully hardened. But like I said guys, I hope this video helped you guys. how to clear over the body and how to clear over decals. I know decals are kind of frustrating because decals do not like clear coat. But like I showed you, put on a very light mist coat on the decals. Wait 5 to 15 minutes, it depends, and then you can go ahead and go nuts with clear coat. You can go as heavy as you want on the body, and it should not affect decals because decals has that little layer of clear coat on it, which is going to protect them. As you see, it looks perfect, very shiny, and very lovely. Woo! But other than that, guys, I hope, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you. And then everything I mentioned in this video will be in the video presentation box below, down to the airbrush, down to the clear coat, down to whatever I use in this video. So, and one thing I want to cover is airbrush. What kind of air pressure that I use. If you have a gravity feed airbrush like I have, I spray between 10 to 15 psi. If you have a suction airbrush, which has a sucks up paint, spray between 15 to 20 psi. Alright, and then I use a 1.5 milliliter needle, which gives it a nice flow of the clear coat and gives a nice even finish. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and until my next video, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye for now.